Hi class, welcome. This is finals week. We are in IT460 System Analysis and Design, and we have reached our final week of the term. This little video here is going to be as part of the weekly to-do list, and we'll cover both of the Units 9 and 10 assignments. Both assignments are due on Sunday, January 21st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. As a reminder, we do not have a seminar this week. We also do not have any graded discussion boards. The only components that you have left to do are to submit the two assignments. So let's talk about the Unit 9 assignment. Now, I want you to think of these assignments as separate, and within that, think of them as separate components. So the Unit 9 assignment has three main rubric components. First, to create a testing plan that includes both unit integration and system integration. Create a testing plan that includes unit, integration, and system testing. So the first thing to note is the rubric is missing the punctuation here, and all three testing types need to be addressed inside of that testing plan. Second, explain the installation process and include guidelines for all concerned. And then finally, develop a data conversion plan and changeover method for the TIMS system. Make sure that you think about a post-implementation review, including fact-gathering methods, topics to cover, the timing of the review, and who should perform it. Now, for all three of these, your key documents are SCR 11.2, 11.3, and 11.4. And for none of these do you need full formal proposals. Just basic outlines and guidance are all that is necessary for the Unit 9 assignment. So what are those components? Well, as we've learned through the class, there's three types of testing: unit, integration, and system. So make sure that you look at what is needed for each of those testing processes. What's the importance for it? What does that look like? And how does that apply prior to the installation? As a separate step, you want to draft a message that explains the installation process and include guidelines for all concerned. So here, it's really important to think about who your stakeholders are, who your customers are, and who's going to be involved in that installation process. So consider all of the external entities that we've been looking at all term, and make sure that you have messages for each of them and guidelines to help through the process component. Finally, you'll want to look at a data conversion plan and a changeover method. So again, think about what we learned about change management. Think about the different types of data conversion and what you think would be effective and why for this particular system. And then the last component is to think of the post-implementation review. So the fact-finding gathering methods, the topics to cover, the timing, etc. So that's how do you know the implementation has been successful. Again, to reiterate, those final two items are sort of lumped together within this rubric component. But if you really think about it as four main pieces to the Unit 9 assignment, I think you're going to be particularly successful for it. Again, realize that the punctuation is incorrect, so you do want to look at all three types of testing. And again, make sure that you're looking at the process for all concerned with it. This should be pretty straightforward. A successful assignment is really going to have four different sections for the Unit 9 assignment and address each of those components with it. And I think you're going to be pretty successful with what we've learned in this class at this point in time. Now, the Unit 10 assignment is a separate assignment, so there is a separate Dropbox for it. It is also due on Sunday, January 21st at 11:59 p.m. There are two main rubric elements. This assignment is also worth 50 points. The first is to include recommendations about creating an SCR help desk and three main types of solutions that you would offer. The second part of it, and as a separate component, is to write an IT security policy, including all 6 levels and an outline for a corporate security plan. Now, I want to look at these two things separately because I think students often get overwhelmed on this particular assignment. Again, you don't need to do formal proposals for any of these sorts of things. So the first is to really think about what that SCR help desk needs to contain. So I'm just simply going to highlight the three main points that we really looked at on what a help desk should do are to show people how to use system resources more effectively, to provide answers to technical or operations questions, and then to make users more productive by teaching them how to meet their own information needs. So when you're thinking about what type of help desk proposals you want to have, make sure that you're addressing each of those main three topics. In addition to that, you're going to want to have some comments on other topics that are related to that. So what type of remote control software solution do you want to put into place? What type of knowledge base or knowledge management options would you like to concern with it? Do you want to outsource or not as part of your proposal? And then how does this connect into the maintenance of the system post-implementation? Again, this doesn't need to be very formal. You want to make sure that as you're writing out your proposals for this, that you have three main solutions that address the main objectives to it and how you're going to accomplish that in the proposal. For the second half of the assignment, you want to create a security outline. Now, I'm providing you a basic security outline that we've covered in class that's looking at all 6 areas. I do not want to see formalized ideas. In other words, you don't need to write a paragraph for each of these areas, but you want to at least have a good sense of why these are important and what types of things go into a security policy. You're free to draw upon other security policies that you may have encountered in the past, but you don't want to simply copy and paste and apply them. Make sure that what you're talking about is relevant to the system that we're working on. So think of these as the main themes that you're then going to outline and sketch out what that rough plan is going to be. Again, I think the Unit 10 assignment tends to trip people up more because it's more complicated than it needs to be. But if you just sort of take it step by step and piece by piece, I think you'll be very successful at it. The course evaluation is now available. You should see a link when you log on to the class. I do recommend that you take the time to complete the course evaluation. I've had a really good time teaching this particular course. I really appreciate the feedback. I'm genuinely interested on how to improve the course and to make your experience better so that the System Analysis and Design class, also known as SAD, is very much not a sad experience. Once again, thank you all for a wonderful term. I wish you all the best of luck in your future classes and your future careers. If you need to contact me either towards the end of this class or after class, you may get a hold of me at the contact information above, twitt@kaplan.edu, 720-234-5992 is my phone number or text message. Thanks again. It's been a wonderful term. I'm looking forward to these final components. Both of these assignments are due on Sunday, and you should have your final grades available to you on Tuesday of next week. Good luck!